Silent Hill is a top gaming series for me. I always find myself going into a real fixation with the series from time to time, going through each game and ingesting a lot of videos on the brand. It's been a while since we've had a new Silent Hill project, the last being in 2012 with Book of Memories. We've been getting rumours of a new Silent Hill game for years now. Whether it's a remake, Silent Hill's returning, or just ideas on what the new mainline game could look like. So much rumours to the point we would just brush off any new rumours now. Plus, Konami have shown for years they don't have any interest in their franchises. Recently though, it seems things are changing. There was that whole uproar with Blue Box, people thinking a game called Abandon could be a new Silent Hill in disguise. I think now that's a pretty much dead lead. The most recent rumours say Blooper Team could be working on a Silent 2 remake, with reworked AI, animations, puzzles, and several new endings, and might release as a timed exclusive on PlayStation consoles. Though there's nothing to really confirm that. Besides that company making a partnering deal with Konami. We will have to see what that deal has in store. Blooper Team has made a bunch of games similar to Silent Hill, with The Medium and Layers of Fear, though none of their games have really stood out to me. I think they could do a good job with the brand. If it's a remake, then they've already got the blueprint, and would just need to focus on improving that experience game-wise. To go along with the Silent Hill 2 remake talk, people say we could get a episodic gaming series with the brand too. Maybe something like Until Dawn. I think Silent Hill would suit that kind of style of play. For me personally, I play Silent Hill mostly for the story and the atmosphere. Plus, with most of the games, gameplay wasn't much of a standout to begin with, mostly in terms of combat and movement anyways. There isn't too much to go on with that rumour, so that's all I'll say with that rumour. There's talk of a new movie in development as well by the director of the first film. In an interview in 2020, director Christopher Gans has revealed news of 2 upcoming movie projects, both based on the video games. One of these games is Japanese horror series Fatal Frame. The other is Silent Hill. Gans said that this is the right time for another Silent Hill movie, so we could see that within a year or so. I personally enjoyed the first film for what it was, and I feel like the film paid respect to the games, with the framing and even the music from the games. With a possible movie, that could mean Silent Hill is looking to come back. But the main thing I want to talk about is a real possible mainline game on the way. Recently, a user on Twitter by the name Aesthetic Gamer linked images and info on a possible new mainline game. This user has come to be known as a reliable leaker, from leaking correct info on Resident Evil 8 in the past, plus seems to be heavy in the gaming industry. He tweets the images with the caption, "There's a lot I'm not sharing for now. This is from a reasonably new source for me, but I have been given more than enough proof to believe them. I also will mention the names Amida and Maya, SMS messages, and this is not the only Silent Hill game in development." Referring back to the leaks I mentioned before, no way to know what other game might be in development, but for now let's just focus on the game in the images. He also mentions the images are a bit dated, from 2020, so maybe this project looks a bit different now. But from what I'm choosing to share, I know many will doubt this, but I have a lot of private proof to show this is real. And as always, I continue to wait on the Silent Hill game reveal. Other images are starting to show up as well, with one of them supposedly signed by Masahiro Oto, a Japanese video game artist best known for his Silent Hill work on 1 to 3. That artist has been saying on Twitter over the last couple of years that he is working on a project. Very interesting. Also, some of the visible words show a clear British influence. It includes words such as minga, which is a British slang. Could just mean the character you play is British. Not much to go on there. Why these leaks have got so much attention is because Aesthetic Gamer claimed that Konami filed a DMCA towards him, taking his images down from his tweet and whenever they appear online. But that brings some real legitimacy to the leak, that Konami would take those actions. First time in years that I now somewhat believe we could be getting a new game. What I want to do is just give my thoughts on what I think with the images, and what I would like in a new Silent Hill game. So the woman we see in the images, which I think is the person you play, has insults written all over her face, in a style where it's like her face is made up of sticky notes. Comes off as if she has layers of emotional damage from being bullied. Seems like we might get a game similar to what came common within the Silent Hill series, having a character that's damaged and has to overcome that damage. In another image we see sticky notes all over the walls and a creature off in the distance, with a somewhat flower petal head design, and a body similar to a human, which is a Masahiro Yoto classic design. Does come off spooky. Having the sticky notes designs on the character's face and on the walls definitely gives the old school vibe of Silent Hill, changing to suit the character's traumas, as well as the mentioned monster, which is fantastic. Hopefully means there'll be all original designs instead of grabbing past monsters or layout designs and reusing them like Homecoming did, for example. The artist has mentioned in the past that he wanted to get away from the rust and blood type of design. What we see is definitely a fresh new take within the brand, but at the same time does look like Silent Hill. Other images just show banged up rooms with trash everywhere. Not really much to go on there, keeping to the broken down town designs of the past games. There's not too much to go on as of now. We'll have to wait to an official announcement with concrete info. Like we don't know if the game will be first person or third person, for example. Also, it hasn't been said what company could be working on the game, though people say it's a Japanese company, which would be great, because I've always thought the originals would stand out for having a Japanese team taking inspiration from a Western horror, where the Western teams would take inspiration from the past games, making it seem like they were just chasing. What I would love though is for a new mainline game to go back to exploring the central town of Silent Hill, allowing us to explore most of the buildings and branch off into different paths depending on what we do. Go back to the style of Silent Hill 2, where things you do affect the ending but you wouldn't know. Unlike Downpour, where you would just pick whether you want to be good or bad. I would love the side quests like in Downpour back as well though, but make them more rewarding to do. Basically, the exploration of Downpour and finding little secrets as well as side quests. But within the town of Central Silent Hill being more open than past games, letting us go into buildings we never have. Plus the town could be more run down because it's been a long time since we've visited the town. Also gives more of a unique look to separate itself from looking too much like past games. I find it so interesting for a new game to go back to the town that started it all these years later. In terms of actual gameplay, I would love for them to bring back the option to pick a difficulty for puzzles or combat. Also, I would love the gameplay to be similar to Silent Hill 3. Combat, puzzles, camera, so on. Though in today's time it would be difficult to cater to the camera. But I think they will either go down the first person view or keep it similar to Downpour with the over the shoulder. But just ideas. Once we know more info, we can get an idea of the path the game will go down, if it is in fact real. Konami have been dabbling in the Silent Hill license lately, with merch like collectibles, soundtrack vinyls, releasing Silent Hill 4 on GOG, lots of art promotion, and not too long ago making a Twitter account solely for Silent Hill. So it definitely seems like Konami are gearing up for something big with the brand of Silent Hill. Though, as Silent Hill fans have done for so long, we will have to continue to wait and see what happens. Thank you for watching.